We turn the
Gotta turn it on.
Never trust me with a microphone.
Just might start beatboxing.
This.
You're on, you're on. Show me.
I do know some French. Michel, my bell, Sunday Marquis, whatever you said it. The song.
I'm sure you also
Yeah,
know
no,
Aloete, Zontoloete, Aloete, Zontopumare.
He has.
Oh, okay. Well, I know this. What are you looking for? You'll probably read.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, hold on. I'll read this in my mind. I received a letter from Santa Claus. He was very glad that he didn't have to make a stop to read it.
Oh,
Make it stop. Where?
there you go.
Here.
Read that one.
To drop off coal.
Like last year. Where is Michelle?
Okay, I guess we put it there. I have paperwork for you from last meeting. It's in my folder. Remind me. No, it's the attendance. It's Robert Beltran on a piece of paper.
Go figure. God, you heard the other times.
You can come forward whenever you want.
Okay, I'll see you in half an hour.
6:59.
This is 4 minutes. 7 o'clock. Right.
Okay, just check. You guys don't want to speak tonight?
As I said at the first meeting, I'll only speak up when I think you guys are doing wrong. I've been quiet, it's been nice.
I must have missed that, Steve.
It's 7.
So you call to order? I'll call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
So 7 o'clock, right?
Roll call.
Yeah, you do attendance or I do? Okay.
Okay, roll call. Supervisor Garland.
Here.
Trustee Yeager.
Here.
Talking to the mic.
Here.
Macredo. Here. Scheffler.
Here.
And Bendenager.
Nagel. Bendenagel.
Bendenagel's
Bendenagel.
absent.
Yep.
It's all yours.
The next one is public comment. I did not see any. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, going to number 3, approval of minutes. 3.1 is a review of the regular township board meeting minutes of November 23rd and discussion of possible action. May I get a motion to discuss and take a possible action on the November 23rd meeting minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So those are all ayes.
Discussion.
Any discussion on those? No. I'll take a motion to approve. If you want to take action.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Approve. Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Those were approved. Motion to approve the executive meeting minutes from November 23rd. Can I get a motion for the discussion and
I'll make a motion for discussion and possible action.
Second.
I didn't have any questions.
Nor did I.
all those in favor of approval of those meeting minutes? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the
Second.
executive meeting minutes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
They're all ayes, but yeah, those opposed, hearing none, motion passes. Thank you for keeping me honest. The next thing we have here is the motion for approval of the town fund.
For the town fund, with the undersigned members of Mchenry Township Board of Trustees certify that we have this 9th day of December 2021 examined and audited the amounts due for the items specified in the claims attached and hereby authorize payments of the same. Total reimbursements to be approved, $683.04. Total bills to be approved, $7,545.64. Total bills paid prior to audit, $31,498.49. Total to be approved, $39,727.17, and the total receipts are $7,865.06. I make a motion we accept the receipts and pay the bills for the town fund.
Second.
So Neil and Mark. That's a roll call vote. We're spending some money. Trustee Shepler.
Aye.
Trustee Yeager.
Yes.
Trustee McCredo.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes also. So the motion passes to pay those bills. Motion to pay the general road and bridge fund.
We, the undersigned members of the Mchenry Township Board of Trustees, certify that we have this 9th day of December 2021 examined and audited due.
I'm going to stop you.
Yeah.
Hang on one second. So we need a motion, so I guess I need a second to go ahead and read the bills, correct? Do it legally, correct?
Pardon me?
So I need a motion, got a motion from Mark, I need a second to read the bills.
I'll make a second to have them read the bills.
And then we'll get a motion for the action.
Okay, so total reimbursements to be approved was 0. Total bills to be approved, $10,820.55. Total bills prior to audit, $13,450.56. Total to be approved, $24,271.11. Total receipts, $47,051.67. I make a motion. What? I make a motion that we pay these bills
And accept the receipts.
and accept these bills.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Roll call. What?
Discussion.
We already accepted them.
Is there any discussion on the bills? Hearing no discussion, I'll take a roll call vote to pay the bills, to approve and pay.
Yes.
Trustee Shepler,
Yes.
Trustee Yeager,
Yes.
Trustee McCredo,
Yes.
and Supervisor Barley, I guess.
Motion carries.
Motion carries, correct. Permanent Hard Road.
Permanent High Road. We, the undersigned members of the Mchenry Township Board of Trustees, certify that we have this 9th day of December 2021 examined and audited amounts due for the items specified in the claims attached to the hereby authorized payment of the same. Total reimbursements, none. Total bills to be approved, $1,913.44. Total bills paid prior to audit, $14,121.55. Total to be approved, $16,034.99. Total receipts, $17,066. Make a motion to discuss.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have no discussion.
I make a motion for the approval of receipts and bills for permanent cargo.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote.
It's,
Okay,
we don't need two motions.
I know, we'll clean that up next
It's
meeting.
one motion to
Well,
accept and you take possible action, discussion and possible action.
So the first was
Correct.
John, the second was
You don't
me.
have to do two separate motions.
Correct, we'll clean that up for next meeting.
Please.
Roll call vote, to pay the permanent hard road fund bills is trustee Chepler,
Yes.
trustee McCredo,
Yes.
trustee Jaeger,
Yes.
and supervisor Barlow is a yes.
Motion carries.
Item 7 is a fund transfer. We have none this evening. Item 8, there is no new business. And I will move to old business. Item 9.1, rental agreements, facilities, rates. May I get a motion for discussion and possible action, please?
I'll make the motion for discussion and possible action.
Second.
Okay, from a discussion standpoint, oh wait, and all those in favor of the motion, all those in favor, say aye.
Now you do the discussion first. and then you do
Okay. Okay, so from a discussion standpoint, we've been doing a little bit of digging into some of these rental agreements, which includes the athletic field cost. I haven't had the opportunity to go through and really dig in deep and look at it versus the cost. I've looked at it from what's been supplied. I think we'll get a little deeper into it during the budget process. But my recommendation as a supervisor, well, let me back up. So just to throw some information at you, from a field standpoint, I did talk to some folks. My understanding is the city of Mchenry at McCracken Field is at no cost to the baseball teams. Johnsburg Fields up at Hillard Park is a no cost. And then the VFW doesn't charge one of the local ball teams anything to play there. So we need to do, what's going to happen is I need to do some verification of all of that and make sure that that is indeed the facts of the matter. And then as we go through the budget process, we need to understand what the previous board was looking at. From my understanding, there was a plan that was put into place, understand that plan, and then decide what we're going to do going forward. And I'll talk about the decision and how that's going to come up later on in this meeting. Does that sound fair? So my recommendation is to table this action until probably January meeting again, unless you guys are prepared to have any more discussion regarding it.
Not at this time.
Okay.
We could probably talk, get into that more when we get to 9.5.
Yeah. So I just need a motion to table the discussion and add to old business in the January meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No nays? Motion passes to
Because
be
it
put on
has to
hold.
do with money, do we have to get it? Because there isn't really money involved, but
No,
no.
not yet.
No money being paid
You
out.
know.
So 9.2, review the comment agreement, motion for discussion and possible action. Who wants to roll that one?
I'll make a motion
Okay.
to discuss it. We started this last meeting, of course, like we
Yeah.
all know. We know how it went.
Can I get a second?
Sure.
Is that Neil or?
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay.
Honestly, the way I feel about it, and I'm not looking at the contract the comment gave us, there's any specific dates. I think we should let the electors make that decision at their annual meeting.
I have in my hand here a cover letter from the gentleman from ComEd. I will call him and find out more details rather than just the legal speak of they want to put lights on the, they want to upgrade their power grid. We'll find out a little more specifics on that, and we can make a decision which way we want to go in the January meeting. So,
You know how I feel about it. It's their property, let them decide. If they
correct, I understand what you're doing, yeah. If it becomes a time-sensitive matter, that's when we'll have to address it. But I agree with hearing some input. As we are new, let's hear from the folks. Motion to table comment.
I'll make a motion to table comment till the January meeting anyway.
I'll second.
Neil seconded it. All those in favor of the tabling?
Aye.
Any nays? No nays.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. I don't want to steal your thunder.
You did already.
Okay. Discuss and approve permanent replacement for temporary tenant at the fish food pantry. Motion for discussion and possible action.
I'll make a motion to discuss and take possible action. 9.3.
I'll second.
Okay. The update is, I'm recommending that we pull this off of the old business until such time that they come forth with their plan. That's my recommendation. In my conversations with them, we're going into the deep bowels of winter here. It'd be hard to sink holes and put piers in and things of that nature. And it would be a rush job. I don't want a rush job. So, and I think they still have some work on their side possibly to do. But I think we wait for them to come to us with their plan and then we'll move forward on it at that time. So I need a motion to.
Well, hold on here.
Go ahead.
We discussed let them use what they would be the one side of the senior center for dry storage,
Correct.
and I still don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with it either. You just need to investigate it and see if they're still interested. I mentioned it to them. They have not come back to me with any discussion. I think that they've been so busy with the holidays.
Sure.
Every time I've been down there during the hours that they're open, it's busy. And but no, the idea there is, if you guys haven't heard, the idea is there is that there is dry storage available on a short-term basis if they need it. Let's say they need it for a week, we can come up with some arrangement that they can use it, or if they need it long-term, we can do that too. So we've got some space that we can help accommodate short-term storage and long-term storage.
How much
for.
space do we have?
It's at one side of the senior center, but I don't know, I can't give you any square footage, I can't do anything, because I need to understand what goes on with the senior center too, so.
It's
I
got
can't
to be
make
at
my
least
recommendation.
2,500 square feet.
It's a pretty good size.
And there's, depending on what they want to put out there too, is if it's, for a few days, I'm sure, I don't know if they have a forklift or we have a forklift or not, but, okay, so if they have that one's out, that idea's out. Okay, never mind. So essentially the motion, I don't know if I can make a motion, but
I'll make a motion that we table it till such time they come forth with any ideas or plans.
Okay.
Yes.
Second by Neil.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, the motion passes. Gotcha.
Gary, the board is small enough that the supervisor can make motions.
Okay. Tonight it can? So my top hat in there, Mike, is that they probably want to hear my recommendation, so therefore I don't want to taint the motion.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at the moment, so that's why I keep asking that. Just want to give you my mindset.
Thanks, Gary.
Yep. To discuss how we're going, need a motion to discuss a possible action on to discuss possible action on how to handle digital recording of meeting minutes. Can we get a motion for discussion and possible action?
I'll make that motion.
Neil?
Second.
Is Mark. Okay. So, in my research, essentially what we do here in YouTube is really, from a transparency standpoint, we do this. This is not required by state statute. We put these on so that people have access to them. At such time, we can pull them down whenever we choose. So,
Can we do that if we put them on YouTube?
yeah,
I think what's on YouTube, they're on there forever, are they not?
we can pull them down, but yes, there's an electronic record of it out there somewhere.
Well, it's on
If somebody
YouTube.
has downloaded it, that's where it makes it forever, and I'm sure YouTube has it on their servers.
Right, that's,
So it's not really ever gone.
right.
But these recordings can't be used in a legal proceeding, is what I read also. The other part of it is, and I think that we should probably go into closed session and talk about it, is closed session recordings. Those are part of the executive meeting minutes, and I can update you on that. So from a digital recording standpoint, I'll update you in executive session regarding that.
As far as the executive session meeting minutes,
Correct.
how about the meetings for this type of meeting? For a special meeting?
I didn't dig into that. I was more into the executive meetings. But it kind of leaks over into 9.5. When you start talking about meeting minutes, start talking about the Open Meetings Act. And so all meetings have to have agendas. They have to have a schedule, whether it be a committee or a board meeting, a special meeting, or whatever. They all have to have that. As far as the contents of the meeting minutes, obviously it's date, time, place, who's present or absent, summary of the discussion of all matters deliberated, decided, and a record of the votes. I think we pretty much do that in open meetings. And now you're going to ask me, how long do we have to hang on to them?
Then, are you talking about the meetings for the regular board meeting?
Yeah,
Those are forever.
yeah.
You never get rid of those.
Well, there was a comment in here I found kind of interesting. The recommendation is that they're prepared so that someone reading them 10 years from now would be able to understand the substance of matters discussed and the actions taken on them. So that's something that that's something that's in the, as far as meeting minutes go. So they must remain posted on a website for 60 days after their initial posting. So that's at that point, then they
They're
can
all
come
out there,
down.
aren't they, Dan?
I'm sorry?
Are they all out there?
Back to 20, I don't have.
Well, it says we're beyond that limit.
Yeah,
No,
we
no.
keep them out there longer.
They have to be posted for that amount of time. The keeping the records is forever. I can show you
Oh, yeah,
minutes
no,
from
it's-
1800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are permanent. If my viewpoint on the whole thing in digital is much more accurate, anybody could go back 100 years from now if it's on digital, read it, play it, and they know exactly word for word.
Correct.
When you
I don't
summarize
disagree,
things,
but there's nothing in the statute that says that digital recordings can be held in lieu of written meeting minutes.
there's nothing that
Written
says
meeting
it
minutes.
can't.
What?
There's nothing that says it can't.
There's written meeting minutes are the measure of what transpires at a meeting. So that's all I'm driving at, is that,
I mean, Gary, I understand it's gospel.
yeah,
Written
written to the gospel. And
But
then,
as far as digital go, I personally think we should say that as well.
yeah,
I mean, to err is human.
correct.
So, someone wants to go back and, hey, where do I err that he might not have said,
And I'll-
understood the same way?
I'll clean my notes up and put them on a piece of paper for you, so it's a much clearer discussion on what is, from a timing aspect, what needs to be retained, especially when we're moving into the committees again. That's the reason why I'm even bringing it up, is that Clerk Aylward does not have to be at every committee meeting. Anybody is able to take meeting minutes. So that's part of it too. So I'll just take if I can get a motion to continue my research on the digital recording and meeting minutes, I'll bring it back and lay it out cleaner.
Well, that's fine, but we did discuss that with Jim O'Tonnell 2 meetings ago.
Correct.
And he said there was nothing that said we couldn't do it or we could do it. Either way,
Correct.
legally, we have the choice. We can do what we want to do.
Yeah.
Well, it only makes sense if the minutes, regardless of if they're on paper, there's no reason why we could not do it also on digital. They could say, well, these aren't permanent. Well, you could burn this piece of paper, you could destroy a flash drive. You know, either way, the odds of that happening, it could happen if there's a fire in the building or such, but one is not greater safety for those minutes than the other. It's more accurate for the digital.
I think it's these regular board meetings.
Did you have a question?
Go ahead, Mike.
If I may provide a bit of insight as an IT individual. The only issue that really comes into play when it comes to keeping digital minutes as opposed to written word minutes is the amount of storage space.
Correct.
The amount of minutes, the amount that storage space is going to take, especially for video, not just audio, is going to grow exponentially over time. Unless you're entirely confident as making those video minutes and that YouTube's going to be around in 10 years and still have access to that, you need to retain it yourself then, and that's a lot of storage space.
We don't need to do it on video. It could be recorded on audio.
Yeah, just
and just stored on a flash drive.
A flash drive is great, but a flash drive is not a permanent storage.
In what way?
Flash drives they do degrade over time. So if you just put it in a flash drive and file it away in a cabinet, it will degrade over time and become unreadable. So you need to ensure that your storage medium is strong and that you have the ability to move it from one storage medium to the other as time progresses.
And that could be done. It's not a big deal.
Well, being the IT guy, we could also choose to record it.
It could also be recorded on a CD.
CDs are degrade actually very rapidly, especially writables.
I've got CDs from 30 years ago.
Writables.
Okay, that's not a,
Go ahead, Mike. What would you recommend if we were going to save these for, let's say, just 3 years?
For 3 years?
You don't need to save them forever. Just 3 years in case someone wants to, just a cord or something.
I would recommend that you buy either a what's called NAS or network attached storage device. A small box is relatively inexpensive. It's basically a bank of hard drives that sits on the network, and you can use those as storage. You can as well, a lot of them, you have the ability built into them to back them up somewhere off site, which is always a good idea. You have your 3-2-1 rule when it comes to backups, 3 backups, 2 different media, at least 1 off site.
You say inexpensive, what do you call inexpensive?
Inexpensive, like depending upon the amount of space you need, they can run in the neighborhood of $400 to $500. So if you need much more space, they can get much more expensive. But for just keeping audio files, $400 to $500.
Perfect.
We can also download it to the cloud.
That would be that backup to the offsite.
Right.
If you're looking for recommendations for those, Synology makes an outstanding product.
thank you. So I guess 9.4 from the proceed regarding digital meeting minutes. I guess that'll also come up in discussion during the budget process, if there's going to be an expense depending on the direction the board wants to take for storage of meeting minutes.
I personally like to start saving them out, but that's just...
Correct. No, they're being saved. I mean,
as far as the open board meetings, executive meeting minutes are a little different. We could talk about that in executive session.
correct.
But I'm talking about these type of board meetings.
These are being saved today. They're available. I and,
Audio wise?
yeah, well, no, it's the YouTube recording.
Okay.
So that's what's being saved at the moment. That's why it's important to get a written document of these at this time. So to go rush out next week and buy an audio device.
No, I didn't say
probably,
you should do that,
yeah.
just something you can look into.
Yeah, so again, I recommend that we table this.
You could, in theory, download
discussion.
those videos and extract the audio.
Correct. Yeah. We don't have the IT infrastructure or people to do it. That's part
We
of
spend
it.
so much money in IT, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I guess if you guys would make a motion to continue this to the next meeting, it's fine with me. I mean,
I'll make a motion to continue it till we start discussing our next budget. To be put in the budget, if that's something we want to do.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those against or opposed? Any nays? No nays. Hearing all ayes, the motion passes. Discussion regarding advisory committees and communication. For communication, parks and finance. And can I get a motion for discussion?
I'll make a motion to discuss.
Yeah.
8.5.
Yeah. My recommendation obviously is going to be to continue this discussion, but I think it's going to continue from the standpoint of forming the committees. We should probably get them formed up here as we move into the budget process, so we can kind of move through in smaller groups from that standpoint. And then as far as I've already discussed, is that they fall under the Open Meetings Act. So if there's ever a quorum and there's an official meeting, there has to be a meeting schedule, there has to be meeting minutes, and there has to be an agenda, and that agenda has to follow all of the posting regulations. I do not believe, and I'll clarify, that it has to be sent to the newspaper. I don't think it does.
No.
Right. Yeah, you're right there, Danny. So my recommendation is, if, I think we assigned folks last meeting. John you wanted to run with parks. Mark and I will run with communication, and Neil would, Michelle will run with finance. Is that how it came out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess the action item is.
I remember we pretty much have my committee set up and ready to roll.
Okay.
We'd just like your approval to start our meetings.
I think you pretty much have it already.
Okay, I just want to double check.
Yep, you got it, to get it rolling. But what I'll need from you, though, is a
Dates.
meeting schedule and all of that stuff. Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion to table this, well, actually, I'm gonna make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion that we move forward with formalizing the committees, putting together the schedules, and reviewing those, and getting them rolling before the budget process, so we have, if we can find enough people that want to be involved. So that's what we're gonna go.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No nays, we're good there.
Motion carries.
So how do we get our volunteers?
I got mine.
You and I will have to discuss that. For-
Now, those meetings, when those are, they're gonna be here in the hall?
They don't have to be, they could be virtually too.
There has to be a set meeting schedule with a location.
They have to be posted, so.
Correct.
Correct.
3 public places.
They don't know we gotta read the book, I guess.
I know that, because,
That's the open
Well,
meetings
that's
act.
what we do, that's what they do.
Yeah, but,
well, I'm just saying that's.
so if the meeting should, a open meeting that follows the Open Meeting Act should be held here.
But if it's only 4 people meeting, it's not necessarily an open meeting to the public.
No, it still follows the Open Meeting Act.
Does
All
it?
committees follow the Open Meeting Act.
Okay, I'm just asking a
Yeah,
question.
yeah. That's, maybe I was unclear about that. Yeah, if it's an open meeting, If you set your meeting size at 3 and you have 2 people, that's considered an open meeting.
Okay.
So that's the sticky wicket on committees and trying to get.
I think isn't that 3?
Well, you're thinking 3 board members, but there's not necessarily going to be 3 board members present. That's why I don't understand why it falls under the same. It's just, I'll probably be the only board member there, or other board members will definitely be invited. But
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I don't think it does.
yeah, if there's only 1 board member there, I don't think it's.
The
Hold on, it
committee
says,
itself is an
section E, under townships must give public notice of all meetings, whether open, closed, to the public, 5 ILCS
This is not a township
120.
meeting.
The notice requirements of the Open Meetings Act are in addition to, rather than substituting for any.
I think you're overreading that.
Yes, I
I
agree with
think you're
you.
overreading that.
No,
If
I
there's
think,
only 1 board member not
committees-
sitting down with a group of 3 people, that's not a meeting.
When I was in charge of the finance
Unless the
department,
3 are board members.
I was in charge of finances with the Board of Education.
Okay.
And there was never a open meeting. We
Under-
sat down with the 3 people in the finance department, myself, the CFO, and a 3rd person. We discussed what was going on.
Right.
Just like 3 people would sit down and talk, so we can understand each other. And we hammered through the problems, and we presented the bills.
It's not like we're gonna make any decisions.
so,
The committee's not,
okay,
we just make
and this
recommendations.
is exactly why we're having this discussion.
Right.
Under committee meetings, it says the term public body includes all subsidiary bodies of townships, including committees. So the provisions of the Open Meeting Act regarding notice, agendas, etc., also apply to committees. So if you're, I'll have to get a clarification. If it's only, if there's 2 or more board members there,
Well, that's for sure.
that's an open meeting.
For sure.
But
That's for sure.
if the committee is made up of 5 people and you have a committee quorum of 3, that's an open meeting is what I read in this.
That's not the way I've ever read it, but I would check with our attorney. Very rarely would I say check with our attorney. But
I just
will on
fell
this
on
one.
my chair, I had to say there. I believe
Rarely
that's what
would I
this
say
is trying
check
to
with the
say.
attorney.
What are the goals of each of the committees?
So the goals of the committee's finance is, to understand and bring forward any large capital projects such as IT infrastructure, things, if there's roofs that need to be replaced or large capital items that need to be planned for. We need to start putting a IT rotation plan in for upgrades of computers. Things of that nature is what finance is for. And also checks and balances. Pardon me?
I noticed IT was mentioned twice there.
Yeah, and checks and well, because it popped into my head, it's really, our current state is what I wanted to take a look at. And then the future state is, we need to come out with a plan, because there is no current plan that I understand, to rotate or bring in new equipment. And that has to be part of the budgeting process. So it's really, they're gonna be the forward-looking entity into what's gonna have to happen budgetarily down the road each year. And that's why, hopefully, the committee will be a year ahead of the budget, is kind of the goal there. For communications goal is really to spread the word about what the township does, and also take in input as to what the township wants from a more global aspect, not finite, such as parks. That's where operations and parks would fall under that committee. Again, so if, let's say we wanted to build a new building, that committee would take a look at it. Why do we need it? How do we need it? How much is it gonna cost? Where do we put it in the budget process? Where does it, is it gonna be part of a 5-year plan? Where is it? Those are kind of my thinking of what the committee goals are. And so that was finance, that was parks and communications. We're only gonna start with 3 at the moment.
As far as parks, I'm gonna look at how we can better utilize what we already have.
Correct.
Me and Gary discussed this.
Yeah.
I'd like to put a community garden out there. We have so much property out there that's just growing grass. Why not grow vegetables with it? It might sound crazy, but it's something I'd like to
No,
look at.
it's not crazy. It's not crazy.
Yeah,
We have so much land on that side,
And
we're not utilizing it.
There's so many people would benefit from it.
Well, that's exactly the way I want to look at it.
And also it's a community unification where we, you know, have something in common.
Right.
You know, people meet each other.
That's just one of my ideas. I have
Yeah.
several out there, but that's definitely one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's gonna run it, the food pantry? Are we gonna manage it? I mean, that's all part of the
Well,
project.
that's the thing, is that if you want to put a garden out there, you'd have to get a set of volunteers that want to run it.
Yes.
And then they would ultimately have to report, I point to him. They would obviously have to run through the committee, and then the board would make a decision. If there's expenses associated with it and they cost money, we're obviously going to have to take a look at it from that standpoint. The goal is to serve the community.
Right.
Can somebody come in here and get a, 20 by 20 plot and grow vegetables? Why not? Can the food pantry take up some of it and people will grow on behalf of the food pantry?
Correct.
Those types of things. That's what kind of the thinking that's being spurred is, there's a lot of land here that sits idle all the time, and why not turn it into something that can return to the community, so.
As far as communications, do all the senior centers in the area know about our busing program? Do all the people that could possibly access the food pantry know about it, know what the hours are, know what's offered? So there's a lot of people don't know about the food pantry, and there's a lot of people that could use it.
Well, I think that's part of it is, those things that we offer that are not duplicate resources. We don't want to start any new programs that are duplicate, that
No.
are already out there from the county or anybody else. If there's a niche not being served in the township that the county's not doing or the state's not doing, that's something we should look at from a communication standpoint. Also, you're absolutely right, Mark, is that how do we develop, more commonly referred to as a marketing plan for the township, so that we advertise what we do and the right people are coming here for the resources that we offer. I'm with you 100%.
Like for senior services, there's a ton of things that can be offered, and I don't know if they are offered.
Yeah.
You know, let's say one of us has to put a parent into skilled nursing facility. Well, we don't know because we've never done it. Somebody at senior services could possibly be
Absolutely.
walking us through that.
Absolutely.
And I think that'd be a huge help for anybody who walks in the door with that question.
It's amazing the number of grants that are out there.
Yes, yes.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, they're
No
out there.
research.
They're out there. We can access it if we can legitimately provide the,
You have to have someone who knows how to write the grants, but it's,
hi, she just walked in.
no, that person's on my
Not
committee.
programs.
That person's on my committee.
Well, when we do our trustee training.
Well, and I think some of that's going to come up too.
Yeah, it will.
So, from a 9.5 discussion revising, regarding advisory committees and actions, I'd make a motion that we move forward with the committees that have been established, with the leaders that have been assigned from the trustee board, and now it's time to go out and do the work.
I'll second that motion.
We already had first and second.
Oh, we did?
We don't vote.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing no nays?
Motion carries.
There we go. Okay. Any new proposed agenda items for next board meeting?
God, I had one, I don't remember right now.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on. Any questions regarding the supervisor's report? Parks, general assistance, you guys saw all that? I do have some items that I'll be clarifying that are in the facilities report that I've received from the department heads, and I'll clarify those at the next meeting. I'll be a little more specific as to what's going on. But one thing that I want to let the board know is that I take life safety very seriously.
We talked about it.
And life safety needs to be the number one thing that happens. If there's a project that is associated with life safety, we need to get it done immediately so that nobody's injured or gets hurt or anything. So with no questions on the supervisor's report, any questions on the assessor's report that was included? You have a, no? Highway Commissioner's report? Hearing none. Executive session. I recommend we go into executive session to talk about some litigation. So may I get a motion to?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session. It is about litigation.
Yep.
Second.
Okay. All those, is that a roll call?
Yes.
No, it's all.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes to go into executive session at
7:43.
7:43.
Actually, did you do? I'll show you how to fill out the report you normally need to do. After the meeting, and I'll show you the report that you need to do to fill out the expense report. That's the one about training.
Okay.
I got it done, so it's ready.
All right.
Something I didn't go
It won't
over
be
with
too
you
long.
guys.
It won't be too long. Okay. Really nothing's gonna happen, just to be upfront with you.
So it's a blank check?
You have to provide, you know, me throwing out blank checks everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Be my thing to do.
I could use 2 or 3 of those.
Huh?
I said I could use 2 or 3 of those.
Can't we all? Gotta give him that code sheet.
lost our audience.
They're still here.
Yeah, I see her.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
So reconvening the regular meeting, is that me or you?
That's you.
Okay. So I'd like to reconvene the regular board meeting, township board meeting at 7:54 PM. Executive session is over. Board member comments. Any comments from the board members?
Nope.
Mark?
No comments.
No comments? Mr. Scheffler?
No comments.
No comments. I'll save my comments for January. So just the only thing I'll say is strap it on. Here it comes. It's budget season. And we're going to go through that with a fine tooth comb and understand exactly how everything works.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Not hearing none. Meeting is adjourned at 7:55.
That being said, everyone have a Merry, Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Merry, Merry. And a Happy New Year.
Happy whatever wintertime holiday you celebrate.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That is true.
I'm not sure this is off, but
I'm going for.
You guys have some other meetings?